Good evening, everybody. Matrix here, and here's my watch list for March 6th. Okay, so here we have the futures. It is gapping down ever so slightly. You can see this near-term uptrend line. It finally snapped, tested, and it's now making its next leg down, or it looks like it's about to make its next leg down. All right, so this is the monthly chart. Let's take a closer look right now. As you can see, I drew out two horizontal support resistance line right here. We have the 2788.50, which relates to about it's around the 279 area, and then we have the 2795.70s. This is very near the 279.50s area. All right. Why did I mark these down? Okay, so basically 6 o'clock today, when the futures opened, it gapped down, came back up and tested, and then at midnight today when we opened, it gapped down a little bit more, came back up, and it's still making lower highs right now. And to me, it looks like it's going to be making lower lows as well. So we are looking at a very minute downtrend here. I think overall, once this area, the 278 snaps, around the 278.50 area, if it snaps, then we could come all the way back down to the 277. All right, let's take a look at that on the SPY here real quick. Now here is a daily chart of the SPY. As you can see, once again, I have the two horizontal line mapped out on the near term, right? For the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days, around the 11 days area. This is where I started marking off the support and resistance lines here. The 278.50 is the high of February 19th. Okay, the closing price of the 20th. All right. It's also the opening price of the 27th, the lows of the 28th, the lows of the 1st, and the lows of today. All right, so this is a very key area I like to mark off for now. And as far as the horizontal resistance line, drawing it from the 22nd of February, this is the high. And then we have a pop up and down. This is the low and tested on the 25th. And then we have the closing price here on the 26th, the high on the 27th, the high on the 28th, the closing price here on the 4th, and almost near, like a little bit under the highs of today. All right, so we are trading in a very, very tight range. I'm just gonna mark that off real quick for you here. 279.50s and 278.5. All right, now after hours, you see that the SPY overall is coming down a little bit and kind of like a stair step pattern, right? Until this range breaks out, I don't know what to say, right? It can go either or. It just looks like it's bouncing right now, right? If the snaps, comes back and tests and fails, then it's a short, right? And bring it down to the 277. If it bounces, or if this breaks out, comes back, tests and holds, then we are ripping back to the 280s. So we are in a very sideways range right now. I personally like it a little bit more on the short side because we did snap that near-term uptrend that I showed you on the futures here. Let's take a look here. This near-term uptrend line, we did snap this, so to me it looks like a leg down. Okay, let's take a look here one more time. If it rejects this 279 area tomorrow, I mean, I'm looking for like a little cover pop, right? Looking for a little cover pop. If it rejects the 279, maybe it can get a little bit over and reject here around the VWAP or the 279.20s area. Then it's also a short, in my opinion. It might cover pop a little and then a short for the next leg down. The SPY overall has range. if it does break out. Right now, we are in a dollar range. So, I mean, within this range, you can play the up and down, and you'll be able to capture a dollar move. I mean, in a perfect world. But the real big move is to see it break out of this range, right? For the next leg, either up or down. And I like it for the down. So I'm going to look for a pop and then look for a sell signal here around this area and then short it down. With the SPY being so volatile right now, I think it's definitely playable on my watch list. I do like to think that this is stock in play when the markets are volatile and it's giving range. It's definitely a stock in play. Otherwise, if you are not much of an ETF guy, I always manage to find stocks in play in the stock market here as well. For example, Urban announced earnings after hours today, and it made a big move. Urban makes it on my side watch, actually. The company had a bad earnings reaction. As you can see on the daily chart, it's been downtrending a lot. And then now comes the earnings. I'm looking at what happened prior to earnings. So it looks like people have been selling at each pop, right? And now that it has gapped down, after hours, it looks like it found a little footing here around the 29 area. So get a watch for the 29 in the pre-market and see how it reacts. It might want to open and fill the gap first before the next dump. But overall, their earnings, their guidance were pretty shitty. And on the daily chart, I mean, I really don't see the next area of support until around 25. So this could be a very nice all-day fader. Once it snapped 29, just got to be patient. Look for that 29 snap, come back up and retest, and then all-day fader, right? Overall, though, the average true range for URBN is only 80 cents. That's why it only made it to my side watch. So let's go to the main watch. First up, we have Kohl's KSS. It had earnings this morning, and the earnings reaction was quite positive. What I want to note, though, is that it topped out here at the $72 mark, which is also the 200 SMA. And on the daily chart, the 200 SMA played pretty well overall in the beginning of 2019. I mean, let's zoom back out. Yeah, so for 2019, the overall market has been respecting this 200 SMA. I do like it for profit-taking day tomorrow. Okay, so first resistance I want to mark off is 72, obviously, in the high of days. And then the next area of resistance we have is at 73 right here, and also 74. So right there. Now 74 is very apparent, right? You can see this big red candle here in November. 73 as well. Let me zoom back out a little bit. Yeah, 73 and 74, this is a key resistance area. So if it breaks out 72 and starts holding, you could definitely long it up and target these two areas for resistance. I don't think it can run as much, though. I mean, today it actually ran a lot. I mean, at the open, it took a big dump, held, and then came right back up. But I mean, from here at 67 to 72, this is a 5-point gain, and KSS has an average true range of $2 only. So it made 2 times its ATR already. Looking at some support areas and some targets, right? The first target, I want to see 71 hold or snap, right? From lunch on up until the closing bell, it basically held this 71 area very well. So until the 71 snaps hard, I'm going to be a little bit cautious on the short side. Okay, I don't want to short this weakness until it snaps through. I want to look for that kill candle. We also have $70.50, which is a very key prior resistance, now becomes support. Okay, and of course the key psychological whole number of 70. Overall, I think this chart is pretty bullish. Uh, if it does come down, I'm gonna expect one of these levels to hold, unless by some chance of a miracle, all these support snaps through. Then we should get a nice downtrending day and bring it right back down to the 67 area. I think. I highly doubt it can snap all these three areas, though. I'm looking for a pop and a drop, more like a scalp trade here on KSS. Maybe scalp it for a point, $1.50 or something like that. That's my plan on KSS. Next up, we have HUYA announced earnings, I believe, after hours yesterday. And I actually had this on my scan last night in my watch list, but I didn't actually put it on my watch, which was my loss. Because apparently it ran huge, right? It ran $6. So today I'm going to try to make up for it and make a plan for it. Since it's so overextended right now, even though it's on a positive earnings reaction, I will be looking at the $30 mark right here. Key psychological whole number and resistance. If I mark off the $30 area and zoom out a little bit, you'll see that the stock played really well at this area here. Now, if it breaks up and over, I do want to see $30 hold for another. It needs to show me some sort of a higher low or double bottom from here for me to go long bias on this. Got to watch it pre-market tomorrow. After hours, it's got some prints here at 29.50. The next area of resistance, you will notice that this stock really likes every $2.50, right? So 32.50 right here is the next area of resistance for me. And as far as support goes, I'm going to watch for 29 to hold it. Okay, 29 at around 3:30 today. It dipped and held. Okay, around early lunch, coming out of lunch, it broke out and held this 29 level. Okay, so we have support here at 29. I am expecting a dip at the open. So a dip, and then if it starts holding 29, then it's a good long in my opinion. Even here at 28.50 is where it broke out from, but I don't know if it can come back down so much. Okay, so that's HUYA. You know what? 28.50 as well as 27.50, which is the VWAP of the day, right? Overall, if I'm shorting this would be my target right here, the 27.50. I believe it makes a mark here on the daily chart as well, right? So right over here, daily chart, pretty significant support areas to play off of. HUYA is quite the easy trader. I mean, the spread should be nice and tight for it. Okay, and then next up we have Facebook. I actually played Facebook today. I took one trade today and it was on Facebook. I saw this long happening, right? I got in a little bit late, but nonetheless, it was a green trade. I did call Facebook for a secondary day of a run up. I did call last night for the support here at 166.50. Just to watch for it. I think I also called 167.5 to kind of hold. So I mean, if we missed it today, then I mean, this was a very nice reclaim in my opinion after the dump out, right? Obviously the 167.5 played a key role here. Okay, because it was, I believe it was also prior day's highs too. So let's mark that off real quick. But that's besides the point. Yeah, prior day's highs. That's besides the point of tomorrow's plan. Overall, the stock is still very bullish. Let's mark off some resistance and support areas. Key resistance here tomorrow I'll be watching for is see how it reacts at 172. Okay, key psychological whole number. Actually, bring it all the way up to 172.25 here because it actually relates to the daily chart right about here. Okay, so this green candle, the high 172, this red candle, the high 172.50, the high, oh, okay, so 172 or 172.5, right? So we have the first resistance area right here. Okay. If it gets up and over it, then it and starts holding, it's still a long. But I don't know. I don't know if Facebook has what it takes to go one more day. It's pretty overextended right now. Overall, the daily chart pattern, this is like a cup and handle. It really depends. It could just hit its head on this 172 and just fade back down. Key support though, we do have 171, 170.50, and 170. Right here at 171, which is the 50 EMA on the 5-minute chart, as well as the highs over here at noon. Okay, so I want to see a dip out the gates from all these buyers to take profits. I want to see it hold. Eventually, if it doesn't, then I'll be watching the 170.50 as well as the 170. 170 was pretty key. I actually longed it right here today. I was watching a stack of buyers coming in and holding the stock up at 170.25. So I literally got in at 170.26 and I rolled it all the way up here. And then I saw this happen on the 5-minute chart. I saw this reversal signal, so I got out and I had a small gain, but nonetheless, it was a good trade. And then eventually I left for lunch around this area as I see it fail. By the time I came back from lunch, it was already up here. So this 170, very key support area. If you were to short it, then that would be a target in my opinion, and look for a bounce from there. I don't think the stock will lose 170 with it being so strong today. So yeah, I'm gonna take a look at that. If it's another long day, if it holds 170 or 171 or 170.50, if it holds either of these areas, it could be a long day. The next area of resistance, I said already, it's 172.5. And then we have over here on the daily chart, it looks like it could gap fill, but the high of this candle is 174 on this red candle right here. And then there's this gap to fill. If it breaks out, the gap fill is at 175. Key psychological hold number as well. So mark these off. Facebook has an average true range of $4, so I do like Facebook on watch tomorrow. Finally, we have ROST, announced earnings after hours. Now, this stock, the quarter four sales was in line, but the guidance missed by 7 cents for the next quarter, and they missed by 1 cent for the year of 2019. So overall, with the guidance, it's a little bit on the bearish side. Since it's on the bearish side, I am going to look for a little bit more fade to this stock here. Tomorrow, I'll be looking for a pop and drop. Mark out some resistance area. That would be 92.50. Okay, which is the bottom of the closing price of this first after hours candle, as well as 93 and 93.50. So looking at this, this is the closing price of the second 5-minute candle here on after hours, a key psychological hold number as well, and then 93.50 was support today around the noon area. Okay, so coming to the daily chart real quick, we have, it's a pretty tight resistance system here. 93.50. Hold on. 93.50. We have, yeah, you can see that, and then we have 93, and we also have 92.5. Right about there. Okay. Currently, the stock is sitting at where 91 and change. Oh, a little bit above 91. So right around this area, that's where the stock is sitting at. It gapped down a lot. So I do anticipate a pop and a drop here tomorrow. We have the $90 area being the 200 SMA, so this could find footing here at $90. If it snaps, then we could test the after hours lows here at 89. Some more support area, 90.50, 90, and 89.50. So 90.50 right here. 90. So every $0.50 mark for these big names. Okay, key support areas I consider. They play well on the daily chart too, so you can definitely mark those off. Okay, so there's that 89.50 area. And then we have the 90-200 SMA. So looking for a pop and drop here on ROST, and if 90-50 starts holding, then I am getting the hell out of there. It might just be a range though. Okay, so that's it for my watch list this evening. If you enjoyed what you watched, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. And I'll see you guys all bright and early tomorrow. Ciao.